I know I got an accent. I'm Jamaican, but I want you to hear everything I'm about to say. This is a case law called We Hunt versus Ledbetter. And in this case law, it has come to pass. Title 4D does not support.
Fact.
It was not enacted for the special benefit of AFDC families. That's the families that we just spoke about. That Title 4A supports AFDC families, not Title 4D.
That's a fact.
So a Title 4D program operates under a separate legislative and regulatory framework than that of Title 4A. Just like I said, they could not collect the grant, the money that they were giving out under grants, they couldn't collect it under Title 4A. They had to create a separate law, a separate section, Title 4D, to collect those funds. So Title 4A provides funds for the public treasurer to support children in need. So children that are in need are supposed to be taken care of under Title 4A. That was the purpose of Title 4A, right? So as we go a little bit deeper, it's going to say Title 4D seeks, and the word seeks, Title 4D seeks to recover those funds and restore the treasury balance by enforcement of child support obligations owed by the absent, keyword, absent parents of those children.
Right. So and that's a key word, because when you say absent, how many, we can take someone, because it's public, Tyrese fighting for custody in his custody battle through his public situation. Absent. They're saying that they're coming after you. In order for child support services to come after, you have to be absent. What does it mean to be absent? That means to not be present. That's
You're
one
present.
thing.
This is why we say child support is fraud. There's a lot of fraud going on in child support. Not to mention the fact that child support, and Lionel, he breaks this down way better than I do. Child support operates under legislative, judicial, and executive. It's the only institution that uses the three branches of government that violates the separation of powers.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, they taught us this in school, that there's three branches of government.
Hold on, Lionel.
Hold on. So I just woke up, right? And then y'all go, y'all can see that my face still looks half asleep. But here's the thing. How many people are on this live right now? Because my thing is not updating.
So it's fluctuating between 650 and about 1,000. It goes up, it goes down.
All right. So one of the things that I feel like is important, because you got to understand your audience always. Nobody on this live is a deadbeat. Nobody live is not a committed father. Nobody being on this live right now, if anybody is triggered or feel a way about the actual dialogue that you're listening in on, we just want you to know that it's actually legal to have a driver's license, but it's not illegal to be pulled. It's legal to operate a vehicle, and it's legal to drive a vehicle. And it's not okay to be pulled over for a bunch of things and being accused of doing something illegal while you're operating your car legally. So you're a father when you're present, when you're involved, when you love your son, your daughter, or children. And yet you're a father that feels like, how is it that I matter on the levels that I matter on all across the board as a man, as a father, whether I'm still with my wife or the mother of my child, whether I'm engaged, soon to be married, whatever the case may be. Why am I so loved and beloved? Why am I so respected until I step foot in the courtroom?
I have an answer for that.
Adore me, appreciate me. You see that I'm an alpha, I'm a provider. You know I go above and beyond every day to put it all on the line. But the moment that I step in that courtroom, in the family law court system, there seems to be a preset menu, and the first line item on the menu, this is a preset menu. That means that if it's preset, this was already determined before I get there. Right? So I'm get all the way down to the basics. I want to make sure I invite people into the conversation, because the moment I got on live, y'all went bow and oh no. Yeah, I like to bring everything down and simplify. I'm a communicator. I like to get into, you know what, it does not matter how long I've been acting. There's people who want to act that don't even understand the gateway into understand what it is that I do. You guys have been doing this. You guys have been blessing so many people that have experienced the things that this brother down to the left has said: stress, depression, anxiety, suicidal attempts on their own life, just trying to figure out, how do I work at Subway? How am I a thousandaire? How am I a millionaire? And how is it that I can't afford proper representation and I'm getting my ass caved in, pause, in this court? And yet I'm also looking at a multi-millionaire, celebrity, high net worth individual that afford proper representation that's also getting his head kicked in. So what the fuck is it? Why is it that you have never seen women with picket signs boycotting in front of a family law court system? When they feel compromised and they feel like their legal rights, their legal actual rights are being compromised. Like, you're telling me that I can't have an abortion? You're telling me that I can't this? You're telling me that I'm the most capable person to get this job and I can't get this job? Women will go above and beyond to picket signs and use their voices in their community to speak out passionately about the things that's not working in their favor. But they never, ever are in front of a courthouse for the family law court system, because things tend to work in their favor. Because preset menu, when you're born a man. See, the transgenders that want to be women that become men, they're not interested in being a transgender when they realize that if you're going to swap out your vagina for a penis and you go to the courthouse and you're now a man wanting to understand what the fuck happens when you say, I identify with being a man, and now you got to deal with the reality that happens to a man and a father at the courthouse. First line item on the menu, the preset menu in the courthouse says, fuck you, fathers, you were born a man.
So I have a
case law in the context of what we're talking about. It goes like this. And you go ahead, my brother.
So look, when you say there's a preset menu, it don't. I don't know if you. I'm sure. I'm gonna just presume that no one knows this. There's a United States code. It's 42 USC. That's United States Code 658A as in Apple. Incentive payments to states. So when you're saying you come,
hold on. Please, everyone, do me a favor, especially all of the men. Please do me a favor. You may not be going through anything right now. You may not have ever went through anything. I want you to use this moment. You know, they like, oh man, that brother dropping some Jews. Pick them up, motherfucker. We're not drop the Jews and dropping gems, and then you just gonna listen to it and give us a hallelujah and not use it. We're free game because we want you to apply it to your life. And even if you write it down while you on your phone and your iPhone, go to your notes section and start writing down some of this case law. Because if you're not going through anything, or you're on your way to go through something, a divorce, a separation, you're about to go to court, you never know what you're about to. These gems are real gems that take these brothers years to hold information. And instead of being like every other selfish man to say, nah, fuck that, I'm gonna look out for myself, I got me. They going up on IG Live, putting you up on free game. So write this shit down and put it in your phone, because you never know when and how you're gonna be able to bless somebody who's going through something right now that you're not going through, or you never know what you. I woke up to a random divorce, and I'm in the middle of some shit that's so crazy. Never thought I would not be married for the rest of my life, and they hit me for 1.2 million in legal fees with a agreement in place right now. So please write this case law. Write this stuff down, guys. Write it down. Don't just listen to what we say. We don't need your hallelujah. We don't need fire emojis in the comments. Write this shit down. Go ahead, my brother.
So like I was saying, man, 42 USC 658A. That is the incentive payments to states. States are incentivized to find you guilty in your own child support hearing. So the more child support they collect, the more the arrears they collect, the more paternity they establish, they are incentivized on the back end to find you guilty in their own state hearing. For the fiscal year of 2024, the United States Treasury authorized $713 million to states to find you guilty in your state hearing. So when you're going in here saying, man, I'm doing everything right, I'm taking care of my kids, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I just can't get a fair trial in this family court system, follow the money.
It wasn't designed for you to be fair.
Yeah, it wasn't designed, because when you look at that, now let's go into Blessing versus Freestone. Blessing versus Freestone. There were 5 women from Arizona who sued child support because child support was taking all of the money that they was collecting. The 5 women from Arizona, they sued child support, and in that case, they had to tell on themselves. They said in the Supreme Court case law that child support was not intended to benefit the state nor the custodial parent. It was intended to benefit the state. It wasn't intended to benefit the child nor the custodial parent. It was intended to benefit the state. This is Blessing versus Freestone, a United States Supreme Court case law and one of the backbones within the child support family law system.
And it's the same thing. Wait, I think one credit. You had something. Go ahead before I go on a rant, because when I go on my rampages. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, respect to the conversation, man. I'm gonna try to keep it on topic as much as I can, because we can go. This water is deep, it's this real deep, right? But I'm gonna keep it on the surface so that way we can comprehend what's going on. So we all understand that child support was never intended for the family. Okay, that's just a misnomer, misrepresented name, and a very good marketing strategy. They have the entire world believing in child support. Child support is not meant for child support, okay? Because when it comes down to support, they don't want support. And you mentioned something that was very, very extremely important, which is the absence of a father. I don't see no absentee people here. I think we all are living and breathing, right? And we all are living and breathing and taking care of our children. So that's a misnomer. Now, the key to this, you have to position yourself and understand that when you're going into these court hearings, whether it's child support or custody hearings, they have contracts. Whether they have a contract or not, it all stems from contracts, expressed or implied. Okay? So if you're going in there, that's a contract. If you're answering questions, that's a contract. Remember, they're not going to give you what? Legal advice. So they're going to walk you off the ledge intentionally, okay? So they can keep up the charade of raking in this money and making us, whoever had these social security numbers, pay this money back to the system, okay? So it's all a fraud. It's not something that's just my opinion. It is actually in their own policies, their own doctrine, their own paperwork. how you think that we beat them off of their own
Paperwork.
paperwork? We didn't go in there and say, I didn't go in there and say, hey, you're just not treating me right. No, once you walk in there, you're considered dead. I'm serious, guys. You're considered a dead fiction. So now they're operating on presumption and assumption in the courtroom. Now, I want to say this to all the gentlemen out here and anyone that's going through custody. Check the language in your state. It may not be exact, but you have to check the language in your state. But you have equal power, equal responsibility for your children, just as the other parent. This is a entitlement. So this doesn't require for you to ask for permission. This doesn't require for you to ask an attorney for a permission. This is a statute. So these statutes is across all 50 states and all counties, majority of them. Okay. So when you men out here trying to get custody of your children, you have to remember this one thing, that you are entitled to custody of your children. Now you have to invoke that.
Yeah.
You have to put that on actual paper or say that in court, because they will have to find you unfit. Alcohol abuse, drug abuse, child abuse, or neglect. If that ain't you, then go get your children. Go get your kid. It doesn't matter. Go get the kid, because they're lying to you if they're trying to favor the other parent without bringing these facts up, without bringing hardcore substantiated facts to prove that you can't get custody of your children. It's a lie. Okay. I discovered it. I used it in my case, and I also used the term inappropriate. So here it is. It is inappropriate for you to take money out of my household to give to another household to take care of that family when I'm obligated to take care of my family in this household. That is called inappropriate. Okay, that is inappropriate. So if you don't use these trigger words in the courtrooms, they're going to assume that aka attorneys and lawyers, and they're gonna expedite the case fast. So it's almost like you have to stop them in their tracks by objecting, only talking about only facts, which is the document, and bringing in case law. So again, I want all the men, majority of the men is going through this. So if you're dealing with custody, remember, if you're not if you're not found unfit, go get your entitlement. You're entitled to it. You know what I mean? So you're entitled. It's almost you inherit that when you have children. So don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the okie doke. But again, I don't want to get off too much off of the subject. But again, I just wanted to kind of raise that question, concern that how do we get custody? Well, you're entitled to it.
What you brought up was beyond important. So again, beyond the case law, if you were to go into court and you're representing yourself, to understand that there are certain words in the courtroom that are very specific to raising an eyebrow, going, "Oh shit, he knows something," right? So inappropriate and everything that follows. Your Honor, I believe that what you're doing and how you guys are going about this case is inappropriate, and here's why. Case
Boom.
All right. So right there, Tyrese, right there. So where you just stopped right there. This is a continuation now. So how you phrase it, it's not what you say, it's what you can prove. A lot of people know a lot of stuff and can't prove nothing. So now we're talking about grounds of inappropriate child support itself being inappropriate. So let's take a look at Wehunt versus Ledbetter. And this is one of the reasons why.
Wait, what is it?
Wehunt versus Ledbetter, the case law.
Okay.
And this is why child support is inappropriate to its core. So if Title 4D does not create any enforceable right, it was not enacted to especially benefit any AFDC family, and the fact that Title 4D operates under a separate legislative regulatory framework than Title 4A. Title 4D seeks to recover funds back to the United States Treasury that was given under Title 4A. Title 4D schemes to recover those. So if Title 4D's purpose is to recover funds from Title 4A to replenish the state treasury, what does that have to do with me taking care of my child? And what law says I am obligated to pay or support the state? What law under the United States says that I, Durain Delavante, a living man that was made in the image likeness of God, what law states that I am responsible to support the United States Treasury? There is no.
There isn't.
Title 4D in its core says this: Title 4D seeks to recover those funds and restore the treasury balance by enforcing of support obligations. It's not because you're not a father, not in your child's life. No, Title 4D's core purpose is to recover funds and restore the treasury balance by enforcement of support obligations owed to the absent parents of those children.
Absent.
The driving force behind the program, is the recovery of welfare payments and a parallel commitment to remove and keep families from the necessity of welfare dependence by establishing and enforcing support obligation. The legislative history indicates that in enacting Title 4D, Congress was primarily concerned with collecting child support in order to reduce the welfare roll.
That's all it was for. That's it.
And can I add this? Let me just add this before y'all go. I'm gonna cut through the bullshit, straight to it. So when you walk into a courtroom, you're walking into a production. You have an actor. Everyone is in on the fix except for you, individual. Everyone is in on the fix. The first entity who gets paid from the state is a judge. So when you walk into that courtroom, they're automatically a conflict of interest, because the first people who get paid out of the governors and all the people that's the hierarchy of this is the judges. I just wanted to throw that out there because just in case someone is out there thinking that we don't have any information or the right information, we know, because we follow the money. We know where the money's at. We know who get paid off the top. So if the big dog get paid off the top, when you walk into that courtroom, my interest is to make sure you pay.
That's
because I get paid off the treasury when I retire.
That's a fact.
So all of it is bull crap. So they use the word child support services to play on our emotions, because we are living beings and we care for our children. So when you use that word, it brings something out of any person. So therefore, they're playing against our own emotions. And because we are emotional, we walk right into the trap, and boom, they capture us. Boom, they get the money. Boom, they find us, they convict us because we're playing their game and we're not playing God's game.
No,
But
I appreciate you mentioning that, man. I wanted to point out something else, that my specific case, my prenuptial agreement was cracked. So my ex hired an arbitrator, and they did a review of my prenuptial agreement. Now, one of the first terms in my prenup, and I'm only speaking to this because this is very public knowledge. One of the terms in my prenup, that if this is a contested divorce, if this is a contested prenuptial agreement, that means that we are now about to have a discussion about the details of your prenup. If it's a non-contested, it's like basically the word contested means, are we going to have a discussion or an argument or argue,
challenge it,
or
yeah.
are we going to challenge your prenuptial agreement? That
Mm-hmm.
means it's contested. So he hires this arbitrator to review the details of my prenup, which is a legal document. She did not sign it while being pressed under duress. She did not sign it because she was manipulated or bamboozled. Even all of those terms are spelled out in the prenup. Like you are legally and rightfully so signing this paperwork. You are
Mm-hmm.
an attorney that you went and hired on your own, that negotiated back and forth and gave you counsel of the terms of this prenup. So we're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now that means that I signed, you signed, and we put our signatures on every page that says that everything that we're doing and signing off on, we're on the same page. So therefore, that makes this legal standing document, this contract. It is a non-contested situation. We signed,
Right.
we agreed to it, the terms were good. So this dude hires an arbitrator, someone to go and look at the context of this prenup, and then everything about how they cracked my prenup. They never used the word that it was contested. They also stayed away from non-contested. They just gave their opinions about the prenup, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
they cracked the prenup.
Right.
And
So, but
first,
and what?
one of the first paragraphs, again, it says, if this is contested, meaning like if we're going to debate and argue about the validity of this prenup, then she, my ex, has to pay 100% of her own legal fees to argue back and forth about the prenup. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot put a child support quote unquote number in a prenuptial agreement. What the child gets, they can go through your tax returns and get into all of those and try and determine what a number is. Now, your levels of case law that y'all dropping on me, 4D and all of the above, like all of that just goes all the way down to the specifics. Like, what is the narrative? What is the dialogue? As the brother said, who dropped off, walking into that courtroom, you're walking onto a movie set.
Mm-hmm.
So where did
It's powerful.
what is the context? So contested is another key word to write down. Contested versus non-contested. You're arguing, it's contested. If it's a non-argument, if this legal document is a non-fucking factor, it is a non-contested. So they said non-contested, no argument about the validity of the prenup. And they announced to me that they're cracking my prenup. And we're sitting there going, how the fuck are you going to do that? And they did it. So
Right.
Wow.
she has now hired 3 law firms to represent her pro bono. They're at the house rubbing their hands like a pot of gold is coming. We're going to represent who cannot afford any of these legal fees. We're going to go after the celebrity, the high net worth individual, everything that I'm supposed to do on behalf of the necessary needs of the child are all being met. I've also been very public in saying I never spent $20,000 a month on my child when the child lived with me. I also never spent $20,000 a month on my wife per month. So where did that come from? Why is everybody seeming like they're in collusion?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
In conjunction with each other, singing the same song, singing this on the same beat, on the same algorithm? Like, this must be a big fucking game. And I'm seeing it and witnessing and feeling everything in real time, all while not knowing the things that you guys know about the true context of where this stuff comes from. So again, this is my attempt to bring everybody in to make y'all understand the things that you may not understand about the just due process that ain't really quite just due process, because if it's a preset
Right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a fact. So if it was me and I was in a situation where I had a prenup or a contract, because let's just call it what it is, it's a contract. If you're coming in to purge my contract based on what the arbitrator said, for me, I'm not even going to challenge, I'm not even going to contest or even go through the money aspect of it. I'm going to challenge the procedure process
Mm-hmm.
of which you cracked that prenup. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a United States Code 28 USC 1691 that says that all writs and processes issued in a court of the United States shall be under the seal of the court and signed by the
Clerk
clerk
of the court.
thereof. So I'm going to demand, I have access to the discovery, so I'm going to see if you followed your own
Mm-hmm.
procedure when to even crack the prenup, because it don't matter what the arbitrator said or his or her
Mm-hmm.
findings was. If you didn't follow your own procedures through the entire process, then your findings are void.
It's not
It's
valid.
not enforceable. It's not enforceable.
So these are attorneys on the case, correct?
Correct.
So I would also ask for their license to practice law. There's no such thing. You know, they have bar cards, and these are memberships to a fraternity. So I go that if there's any judges or anybody, I ask for the oath of office. So there's,
True.
you know, it's usually with the probate office because everything's under a trust. The trustees.
And that's the thing. It's like, if
Can,
so,
can,
I'm not challenging your whatever your findings were. I'm just going to see if you followed your own procedures, because your procedure says if this procedure was not done correctly, A through Z, and all money judgments must be entered on the money docket in the county clerk's office. So if the money docket, if it's not on the money docket, it's not even enforceable.
That's facts. And if you do happen to pay anything to the courts, make sure it's a money order or a check so you can trace it. It goes all the way back to a 508c1a, which is a private ministry trust with the Judges Association in Puerto Rico.
That's a fact.
So
That's a fact. So
I have a question
go ahead.
because I'm not going to be able to stay on. My phone's about to die for one, but for two, I'm not going to be able to stay on for the whole call. I have a question. What are we going to do about this?
I
So,
think that me, you, and Lionel need to have a conversation.
because I'm all about, I'm at this point, I don't want no one to think of us as some bitch ass niggas. It's just
Right.
and trying to go viral every other day because of shit we try. You know, I'm about that life, like for real. Like I'm about that Congress. Like
I was just getting ready to say that. I was just getting ready to say that.
I'm about that going to the Supreme Courts, even though a lot of these Supreme Court judges are
Yeah.
Trump appointed right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that other life. I think obviously child support is fraud. This good brother right here has been building out a real following fan base according to the wisdom and knowledge that you continue to drop on the world that you don't have to.
For sure.
Making the choice to. You know, I tell people all the time that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Was the son, hence the word junior. He was the son of Martin Luther King Sr., and he was not a senior pastor at the Ebenezer Church. He was one of many pastors that preached under the senior pastor, which was his father. Dr. Martin King finally had an opportunity to become a senior pastor in Montgomery, Alabama, of his own church. And that's when a black woman named Rosa Parks says, my feet hurt and fuck you, I'm not going to the back of the bus. And So Dr. Martin Luther King ended up becoming the unexpected civil rights leader that got thrusted into a life and a culture and a world that we all feel a way about injustice or a level of disrespect that happens with these laws and these things that are in place not right. But nobody ever goes to the attorney Benjamin Crump level, goes to the Malcolm X level until something extremely disruptive happens in your life. And just handling or addressing the Rosa Parks situation and leading the bus boycott, he continued on that same journey because he got thrusted. You have heroes who really think through being a hero, and then you got the unexpected hero. The unexpected hero is a mother who founded the charitable organization called MADD, which stands for Mothers Against
Drivers.
Who has been able to put millions of new laws in place to protect children and teenagers from drunk drivers. I signed up for this, guy. She never had this pre-existing passion to put laws in because of drunk drivers. The unexpected hero tends to be the most impactful hero. So I have now taken it upon myself to say, yeah, I know I'm a singer. I got it. Yeah, I know I'm an actor. I got it. But maybe I'm in my Dr. Martin Luther King bag.
Talk your shit, bro.
Just
Let's go.
I am unexpected child's father advocate. And as you might look at me as Tyrese, or what more do you want from me, or congratulations. As much as you may look at me as a man that appears to be irresponsible and don't want to take care of my children, I'm everything but. But if a woman comes up one day and says, fuck you, I don't want to be here no more, does not have a legal right to try and take my life with me. She has decided she wants to be in my life. Because what I'm now paying for is you to be laid up with another nigga in the house.
Funding that fucking lifestyle.
I'm funding something else that ain't got nothing to do with me. You moved yourself from the situation. You were not forced to be here, and you were not forced to leave. You left from the choice that you made. And so now you're leaving, and so now you're leaving. Thank you. You have this arrogance about you that says, I am entitled to the life that I chose to not live anymore. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to live here. I don't want to drive this. I don't want to live in this. I don't want to be a part of anything that has to do with this life. But I'm going to hire an attorney to represent me for free. And we're going to rub our hands banking on this pot of gold. And I'm going to arrogantly go above and beyond and take your life with me, even though I, as a grown-ass woman, decided I don't want to be a part of this life anymore. And now that we have a child together, I'm going to pimp and milk the system.
Wow.
The pre-existing menu that says you were born with a penis, you're born a man, and everything that happens from the moment you set into that courtroom, aka stage play, there's already predetermined menu that says you this, and these are all of the reasons that we're going to justify why it all happens. So now keep in mind, now I want to say this all again. Some of you guys don't know what happened, what's been going on. You're thinking you're a deadbeat, you're irresponsible, you're this, you're that. I want to make sure I say this. The life that my kids live, you'll probably never live or ever experience in your life. I'll say it again. The life and the lifestyle, the things and the access, the things that my kids get to see, live, and experience and have while daddy is still here, you will likely never be able to kids that would be able to make reference to these specific things. These are things that both of their mothers never came into this marriage or relationship possessing. These are my things. These are 10,000 flights into this lifestyle. I've worked my ass off every single day to make sure that my kids never have to be fucked up and struggle the way. So therefore, rather my kids is with their mother, living with their mother, or they are physically with me. Rather I got 50-50 custody or full custody. The things that my children see, live, and experience every single day is on the grounds of how hard daddy worked his ass for them to live. I have never been irresponsible. I am not irresponsible. Proudest father I have ever met.
Let's go, bro.
End of the day, the arrogance of someone making you feel like you are entitled to sustain a particular life or lifestyle that you have decided on your own that you don't want to live anymore.
Wow.
So with that said, I want to make sure that y'all understand the grounds of who I am and what I bring to the table as a father, as a man first. My kids are set now, and my kids will also be set after I take my last breath. That's called generational wealth, which I have set them up for, that their mothers don't have access to either.
Let's go.
You're
Let's go.
not about to fuck over me in real life, in my afterlife. So the paperwork says. It doesn't mean that they're not going to try and not go the bag while I'm here and while I'm gone. God forbid that's anytime soon. But that I'm pointing this out, if you're fragile and insecure, you're going to feel a way about the things that I am sharing. I am speaking factual facts to say my kids will always be good. Arguing with me back and forth, continuing to accuse me of shit that I didn't say and I didn't do. Knowing that the victimization game of a woman in a family law court system, things will always work in their favor.
Absolutely.
You have scheduled tears. You have practiced your monologue. You have came to court wearing a particular outfit. I've been to court so many times where I would be in a courtroom and I'm looking at my, like, ain't no fucking way you'd ever wear this outfit and have your hair like that.
It's all by design.
It's a production.
I mean, motherfucker with not even your eyelashes on.
Natural.
I mean, I ain't never seen your baby hairs laid. So you coming up in here, and in order to play on people's emotions in this on this movie set,
the damsel in distress,
listen, you can't look homeless while trying. You can't come up in here looking rich while trying to convince people that you're homeless.
Correct.
You can't come up in here looking like you got it. You're up in here to convey to the world that you don't have it. That's why he. So I want to make sure that y'all understand that the other aspect of manipulation and gaslighting is to play this evil, dark game that will have people presenting their case and gaslighters. They know how to use their words and they know how to convince you of something that's so convincing. And you're sitting there and you're now thinking like, damn, if I didn't know the truth, I would actually believe the lie.
I would believe it, right?
That's the system.
And that's how it's always worked.
Now, when you're a celebrity and an entertainer and a public figure, you can find yourself, not me, you can find yourself going, I need to just give them whatever they're asking for because I'm about 5 headlines away from people not wanting to hire me anymore.
And most people do.
So that's blackmail, defamation, and
Facts.
these are legal. And then where are the actual hear me out? Where are the actual repercussions for you lying and lying and lying under penalty of perjury?
It has to be enforced. If it's not enforced, you have to enforce that. Because if we leave it to the system, expose the system will never expose itself.
I agree.
So until we decide to be a Morpheus or a Neo and take that red pill and get out the matrix, we won't see the system for what it really is. There's a lot of Mr. Smith that's going around, putting a facade, putting on this grand show, and people damsel in distress. And they play those characters so good because they are coached by the Mr. Smith of the system that teaches them what words to use. Earlier, I spoke on double language, saying one thing when you mean another. There are certain ways for you to use your voice. And when you use your voice in certain tones, it invokes emotion inside of people, energy in motion. And once you learn, lawyers are extremely good at this. Attorneys, they are masters of words. When they use and phrase words a certain way, the whole universe was brought together with words. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The words we use become flesh. Words take root where they are planted. So if they're using specific words, specific gestures, I'm going to turn like this in the court because I don't want to look at him. That body language. What do you say when you're not saying anything? In addition to what you are saying and how people perceive it, the type of tone that you're using. Right.
So you come to the world through an ultrasound. When you first come to the world, it's an ultrasound. Right. You're just fine till you get defined on the birth certificate.
So I know you gotta go, bro. But I want to say this publicly, bro. I commend you, dog, because you could have just gave them the money and let men, like you said, I'm 5 headlines away. I just give them the money and walk away.
We ain't doing that.
You said, no, bro, what you guys are doing to me is not right. And I'm standing up and I'm going to be vocal in public. As I'll take all of the embarrassment. I'll take all of the jokes. I'll take everything.
But putting a lot of emphasis on this thought, and I'm sorry I got ADD. I want to make sure I don't miss this. Putting a lot of emphasis on this thought. I don't give a fuck about being a millionaire. I don't find me a fuck to give about being a celebrity. Because if it's about being a celebrity, why am I continuing to get my head kicked?
Right.
So y'all look at the celebrity shit as a non-celebrity, and you're looking at the life and, oh man, I want that. And then you realize that you know that there's a saying, pick your poison.
Mm-hmm. You can't even come outside.
So when you wake up one day, the first thing that I do every morning, unfortunately, I pray, and then the second thing I do,
your audio went out, Tyrese.
Yeah, first thing I do is I go to my social media, wondering what am I being accused of today.
Crazy.
Okay, so do you have any idea what that life is? You have any idea what type of pressure you put yourself under from those realities? Because some of y'all, not you guys on this call, but some of you guys listening have been suicidal and wanting to lose your mind, and you got 5 people in your neighborhood who know your business, and you lost your fucking mind. Imagine waking up to worldwide TMZ headlines about some shit that I didn't say.
Propaganda shit media, man.
And
that's crazy.
Not only did I not say that, not only did I not do that, but people have already arrived at their own opinion, and they're beating you down with something that they believe, because the lie, it will always be more famous than the truth.
That's a fact.
Wow.
This is this
Fact.
definition of clickbait.
That's fact.
You write
Mhm.
an article tomorrow on your and you said, I'm celebrating my uncle and my auntie, man. They've been, my uncle and my blah blah, and they've been married for 40 years. You're gonna have about 30 people to look at that article. If you say they're getting divorced after 40 years because she had a love child behind his back, that scantily clad clickbait headline is gonna get more
Way
attention
more.
than you
Mhm.
someone and writing this beautiful story about them being married for 40 years. So if your goal is to jump out there with a narrative for the sake of your blogs, the amount of money that you're running and making in ads and all the above, you don't fuck who life you're going to kill.
Wow.
You write that headline. But what you're doing for me is, and this is when someone understands the power of who they are and what they're capable of doing, when you put demonic, dark, evil, and fucked up things in the wrong people's heads, they will say, oh, that's what happens when somebody is dating somebody and they accuse them of some shit they didn't do, actually fuck up their reputation. So who wants to hire Tyrese at Disney when he just woke up to child abuse claims?
Defamation.
Who wants to hire Tyrese at Disney when it's that he just got arrested, which wasn't true?
So now we're talking about actual damages. Now we're talking about emotional damages.
Yeah.
Tyrese,
Have you thought about
hold
trademarking your
on, D.
name?
Hold on, D.
Trademarking
Tyrese,
your
I
Talking
name
think
on
about,
this?
talking about damage that's on levels that nobody on this specific call could process.
Man.
You understand it, but you don't understand it from living it.
that is
Every single day, you don't have to be Tyrese to get your head caved in, girls. You don't. Listen, I have never, hear me out, I have never stepped in a courtroom without paying at least a $30,000 retainer to hire an attorney to represent me for it. My daughter is 17, my brother, and my other daughter just turned 6. In my 18 years on this earth, with having having children and being married, I have never had an attorney to work for me for free or pro bono. So therefore, if I'm getting my head kicked in with proper, well-experienced attorneys, imagine with somebody who works at Subway, who they're making $28,000 a year. They cannot afford no legal representation. They love, hear me out. They love their kids the same way I love mine. Mr. Man, Jacob, Carl, Tony, Anthony, Tyrone, who works at Walmart, you gonna get fucked up just like Tyrese is gonna get fucked up.
And that's the point of educating
In
yourself.
that courtroom. And I am not going to have anybody to throw their hands up at me like, man, come on, man, you good, bro. You got a fucking piano in your living room, and I got a piano in my living room, and I got pictures with Tupac and Paul Walker. I got it. Different kind of life on this side of the phone. I got it. But let me tell you something, Tyrone, Jacob, Carl, and Tony. When you go in the courtroom, you're going to get your head kicked in just like I am, because you were born a man and you're a father. And that's what happens in the family law court system. So obviously I'm not Dr. Martin Luther King, and nor is that my story or that's my journey. I'm making reference to the unexpected hero. So when I run into men and they shake my hand and they don't even say no words to me, I know what that silent cry is. For all of the men who walk up to me daily and just shake my hand and don't even say nothing to me, just look at me, pat on their chest like this, look, and they walk off, You helping me to get through some shit and you don't even know it. Whatever it is that you're doing every day and what you're putting on the line every day from being vocal and outspoken about real shit that's going on, you don't even know how much you helping me, brother. So I'm just jumping on this live to tell y'all work is powerful. What y'all are doing on behalf of men, fathers, is selfless, not selfish. And I want y'all to stay encouraged by that. And it doesn't matter who I am, what type of circles I move in, what's in my bank account, what I drive, compared to anybody on this call. We're all men and we're all fathers. And when you cry, I cry over the same shit. You're going to be crying in your apartment. I'm going to be crying in what I'm living in. But the tears are connected to the trauma and the things that we're experiencing every single day when we step into that courtroom. So I'm going to ask y'all again, what are we doing?
So, and I was going to bring it back to that. So now we need to connect with the right people in Congress to start creating a bill, to creating a plan, to creating a bill to identify what are the policies within the 4D and Title 4A systems that need to be changed that unlawfully infringe on our rights to due process. If you're in Congress and you're on this call, contact us. We need you. That's where we start at. That's where we start at, sitting down to going over what's actually unlawful, because something can be legal and unlawful at the same time. What is unlawful? And we start to create a bill to move forward for reform.
I would just like to add, I educate people on learning how to operate in the private, such as the Amish. They'll never be on child support. Amish people will never be on child support because they move a certain way. They move in a certain private capacity. You got the private sector, you got the public sector. I teach about the private sector and learning how to trademark your name, making your name a business, and putting it part of a family trust.
For sure.
Now,
that's the best.
I think outside of social media,
which one of you guys are lawyers? Anybody on here a lawyer?
We are also.
I do have a law degree. I have a doctorate in law as well.
But you're not officially a lawyer.
No,
right?
I don't partake in the bar association. No.
Okay, got you. Yeah, so that's what makes this even more important and even more impactful, which is why I appreciate y'all works. How many people are on this live now? I don't know why, but I don't.
Now it's still fluctuating between the 583 to 700. Like it goes up, it goes down.
I see 659.
Because mine has been stuck on 240 for a whole hour.
No. There's at least 3,000 people that pass through.
Yeah.
Wow. And how do I post this entire live up on my IG story?
I'm gonna download it. So I'm gonna hit you up. So I'm gonna download the live. I'm gonna put it on a Google Drive so we don't lose the quality.
No doubt. Yeah. So I'll post it as well. Yeah. I know Chingy too, by the way. Chingy, my guy.
I'll get it. I'll get it to you, bro.
Yeah. Whoever started this will probably be the only person that can end the live and then
that's
put it up.
I'll be able to download it.
Once
I'll download
you
it
end live and you put it up on your actual IG timeline, I'm going to put the entire live up on my IG.
Okay, so I'm going to invite you as a collab, and I'm going to tag every one of you here. It should bring it on your pages too, but I'm also going to download it. So, Tyrese, if you could, I'm going to hit you up in the DM.
But the collaboration will also allow for me to put the whole thing up as well.
Correct, correct. But I'll make sure that you can get the thing itself. So I'm going to hit you up in the DMs, and I'll just get your email, and I can email the.
But but these lives have a time limit on them, though, right? Doesn't it just hang up on you?
No. I've been in compliance. Depends on what jail you're in. So Instagram puts you in categories. I've been compliant with Instagram for a while. So my lives used to stop at an hour. Now we can go for 2-3 hours.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been very compliant with Instagram, and I send them a few.
I
cease and
haven't.
desist.
Me neither. I'm on my other Instagram.
Right?
Like,
I'm on the extra
I
Instagram.
like an hour, and then it gives me a countdown. I'm like, what
Right.
the fuck? They like,
No,
oh, we gotta.
still
Yeah.
good. We're
I
still good.
appreciate you sharing your story, Tyrese, and to you other brothers, man. I thank you for putting in the study and the work, and just showing the way for people that look just like you.
Mhm.
Because when it comes to our melanated royalty, they stand down to these people in uniforms, and we're the ones that put them in power. So I just need everybody to understand that demographics is the graph of demons. It's real black magic out here what they're doing. So I just need everybody to understand this.
And what I want to say lastly too is every person on here, we're not challenging a parent's responsibility to take care of their children. We're challenging the family law system to ensure that it's following its own procedures and that we have due process when entering into these unlawful venues.
And in closing myself, I want us to get together, not on social media, but we can make real change. I've spent thousands of hours learning this stuff. Lionel has done the same. Don has done the same. And we're in a system now where Hosea 4:6 is true. My people are destroyed because of a lack of knowledge. And when my people get knowledge, they reject knowledge. So if that is true, the opposite of that must be true. If my people are educated, they cannot be destroyed. Education will be the key that sets us free. A person that does not know his rights have no rights, because then you are left to the mercy of the system. When you speak the system's language,
That's what we're after. I've always said this, guys. Don't give it to me. I want things to be done according to the law. I want you to understand that even though I've never been in any other court, I've never been arrested. I mean, I was arrested when I was fucking 8 to 10 years old in the hood, putting graffiti on the wall. Like, never went to jail, never been fingerprinted ever in my life. But I have definitely been in a situation where something really stupid I was doing when I was young, inappropriate, just stupid, bad, and dealt with the repercussions of my actions at the time when I was young. But I have never been in a criminal courtroom. I've never done anything because as much as you would expect me to have money and power, I am actually scared as a mother. Now, I be speeding on the freeway. That's about it. And I think that's pretty normal. But at the end of the day, man, I tell people all the time, I do not want anything to work in my favor. That's ego, easing God out. You have due process, and everybody should feel like they're coming into a courtroom in the family law court system, and there is no racist bias. There is no, we have already predetermined what's about to happen here without me even giving you a chance to say, like, my ex said that I kicked her and my 1-year-old out. She said that I changed all the locks and I cut off the credit card. We were about to present that I changed the locks on my house 3 days after she moved out on her own. And when she moved out on her own, I was actually in New Jersey. So if you think I'm about to leave my passwords and my locks the same, and I'm going back to New Jersey to finish filming, you have already done a quote unquote home invasion because you took all this shit out of the house while I was gone. And
crazy.
To show up with proof that I hired a locksmith 3 days later, I have a receipt with signatures and the invoice that was paid. We never got a chance to present that. But I was all over the internet as a deadbeat who kicked my wife and my 1-year-old out, which was never true. So I'm supposed to leave this mansion, $4 million mansion at the time, and say, if y'all decide that there's a bunch of other shit that you left at the house,
come and take
and
it.
you want to come back to the house and get some more while I'm out of town, I don't even know what you took the first time. I don't know how much shit you took of yours or of mine, because I have not seen it ever since you took it all out the house. I never got a chance to get into my just due process. The credit card that I cut off was a joint credit card that me and her had. And why would you want that credit card to stay active? You can spend and do all the shit you want to do now that you've decided you don't want to be with me no more. You decided to leave, you're an adult. Sometimes relationships end, sometimes marriages end for whatever those reasons may be. But you about to take my joint credit card and just be open season, spending and buying whatever you want now that you've decided to leave me?
I'm responsible for
That's the credit card that got cut off. None of your credit cards got cut off. It was a joint credit card. And then did I really kick my baby out, who was only one, or did you take the baby? So when
so
you
she so she abandoned the home.
she abandoned the home and she took the child with her, and I'm now waking up to these headlines. It's got me out fucked up. And so who wants to hire Tyrese Gibson, the singer, for concert? Who wants to hire Tyrese to do a movie when you can Google Tyrese kicked a 1-year-old out with his wife, changed all the locks and cut off the credit cards?
Defamation.
He's a heartless monster, this guy.
That's defamation. That's defamation in its finest form.
But do you understand defamation on my level?
Oh, I won't. I can't comprehend it on your level, but just thinking of what I know, that's defamation. Like
no. What I'm not
damages.
saying that our lives should be compared. I'm giving you context. Can you understand defamation and the actual ramifications of that level of defamation? Everybody gets defamed, but what repercussions are you dealing with from your defamation compared to mine? When you deal with this level of defamation, people believe the lie and they're not interested in the truth. And then when we show up 2 years later to go to court with our proof and receipts and evidence that everything that was lied about under penalty of perjury, the moment that we open up our mouth in the courtroom, we're now dealing with a judge who's aggressive and saying, if you would try and explain any other and I'm like, I'm so fucking confused right here, Judge Farmer. So confused, because we are here for the just due process, right? So every time me and my lawyer try to talk or finish a sentence, we got threatened with being in contempt of court. I'm so sorry, Judge Farmer. My answers are not going to just be a yes or a no. It's going to be with an explanation, because we are here, and everything about the just due process comes with proof, paperwork, and receipts to prove that I did not do what I was accused of doing.
You have the right to be heard and a right to a fair trial.
So when you see the footage online with me in the courtroom and I'm literally sitting there, I'm smart, I'm articulate, I got my receipts and paper trail right in front of me, and I'm here as a tax-paying citizen. Rich or famous, fuck all that. I'm a father here that was lied on, and I'm here to present the truth so I don't go to jail. And every time we try and talk and present, we were robbed of our just due process, me and Black woman attorney. So I just want y'all to know, cry me a river, right? You're rich, shut the fuck up, just deal with it, bro. Listen, if I had what you had, I wouldn't even be on live complaining right now. No, I am a father. I am a man. I just so happen to be who I am, but I am a father. That's what makes us, that's what levels the playing. I am a father, did exactly what you did as a father, co-create your child. I'm not supposed to get raped because I had sex with a woman and made a baby.
Facts.
Man. And child support is a lawsuit. So just because you go through a divorce, that doesn't mean that you actually get sued because you're going through a divorce.
Wow.
But it's how they've weaponized the system. It's using that, like, the system has done such a great job packaging the lies, using something as innocent as a child as a weapon. Like it says it in its
get to heaven and it's just people, what if you do get to heaven and it's just like,
hey, yo, check this out.
This the the we're coming together. So it's like now what do? We have to push towards reform.
Yes.
That's the next step
Yeah.
because we can talk. We can talk.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
we
Push
have
for
to get to
reform.
reform.
Push to shed light on the existing laws and
That's
how
it.
laws are being violated. And what? Every Dr. Martin Luther King needs an ambassador. Andrew Young needs a, this is like the Brady Bunch right here, right? What is the, oh man, I can't think of, and Ambassador Andrew Young. You had John Lewis, okay? And then you also had, what's the dark-skinned brother that was with Dr. Martin Luther King every day? What is his name? Oh man, I can't think of his name.
I can't think of
Jesse Jackson. No, not Jesse Jackson. The Ralph Abernathy.
Okay.
Ralph Abernathy. These are all unexpected heroes. Unexpected heroes got thrusted under Dr. King's leadership. He assembled a team of unexpected heroes and all working all of their levels of magic to create change. If you were to not talk, not be bitching and complaining and trying to go viral from this and that, if we were to actually spark a movement for real, everybody on here has been outspoken and vocal, done a lot of research. Listen, it does not matter, big I, little you. Every Dr. King needs a Ralph Abernathy, an Ambassador Andrew Young, because he light skinned, and need a
I like that.
That's how
we
done.
let's get it.
And coming into it to say, I'm very special. I know some shit. I've been through some shit, but I am not powerful alone. The reason that this can happen is because we have made the decision as of tonight to not move as a fragmented, but collectively, all of us show up and do something specific and very impactful to change this multi-billion-dollar game.
Yes.
Yeah, so we on it.
I want to just tell y'all something, boys and girls. It does not matter that you married an NBA player who has a $220 million contract. There is no child on earth that needs $220,000 a month.
For what? What are they using it for?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, Tyrese, we gotta come together. Outside of this social media stuff, I think we should connect. I'm based in Atlanta. Lionel is in Cali. Don.
Well,
I'm in Vegas, but I come anywhere. I just want you to know, I did
connect.
sit down a few months ago after my mama passed with Fred Hampton Jr., and he's with about stuff like this too. So I can make that connection as well.
I think we need to have a sit down.
I have everybody's number, so I'll.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm here to help with whoever I can. I'm rocking with Durain. That's how I'm connected to everybody. Really, I just sat down with Child Support is Friday. But whatever you need help with, I'm here.
I'm serious. Guess what? If what I'm appealing right now does not work in my favor, it ain't going to change my commitment for what I'm looking to do to change the family law court system.
Let's bring it to the system.
Even when I was psych meds having a full-on meltdown for the world to see, someone recorded me walking up and down the hallways of the courthouse, and I said the words, they just took Dr. Martin Luther King's kids. They have done this to the wrong one. Now listen, I got a book coming out called Blackmail of the Blackmail.
Let's go.
I don't think somebody got it.
No, that's hard.
Somebody got it.
That's
so
hard.
Let's rewind. I don't think somebody got it, Tyrese.
Say it again.
Coming out, brother?
All right. My third book that is about to be released independently, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing it independent. I've tried to get 4 different book companies to do what they usually do. This is book number 3 for me. How to Get Out of Your Own Way, Manology, that I wrote with Rev Run, and my 3rd book is called Blackmail of the Blackmail, and 4 different publishers have already turned me down.
Welcome. We don't need them.
Do it yourself.
We don't need
now.
Tyrese. We don't need none of them.
I released this book on my own.
Yeah.
And I'm releasing this. There you go. There you go. And
Welcome. We don't need
I'm
none of
releasing
them.
this book on my own because it includes transcripts. So you don't have to worry about me accusing you of some shit. You don't have to worry about celebrity having the gift of the gab. No. When you lied 50, 60 times under oath, the person in the book in the courtroom that was typing was writing my book.
Wow.
Because now
I did.
here's the other thing. Not only was the court reporter writing my book, but the court reporter job, the only person in the courtroom who could literally stop people from talking on top of each other is the judge or the court reporter. But no one is legally allowed to talk on top of each other. The court reporter will go, I'm so sorry, guys, you guys are talking on top of each other. Please say what you just said. And then I want you to repeat what you just said as a response after. Okay, go. The court reporter sits there and forces you to say what it is that you're saying, and only one person can talk at a time. So I got the transcripts from my entire case from 2017. I got all transcripts from everything happening with Judge Farmer and my new ex-wife, and everything about what I'm about to do with this book called Blackmail of the Blackmail. It should have been modeled, but it's Blackmail of the Black because I can't tell the story of a white man's experience in the courtroom. I can only speak to mine.
Personal experience. Yeah.
It's gonna be dope.
Blackmail will include the case law that you guys just spelled out for me tonight. That's how we're gonna open the book. That's gonna be my forward.
Let's go.
That's lit.
Let's go. Let's go.
I know everybody's here. This is what I'm gonna write. I know everybody's here to listen to the scantily clad, the juice, and all of the crying video and all the shit that I, Tyrese Gibson, have been made I've been a meme. I've been all of these things. I know y'all cannot wait to get all in my motherfucking business in this book. But before we get started, I want to spell out at least 20 different case laws and really point out the factual facts in and around what's actually going on. Because even if you don't read my book, I want you to be a smarter, better father pertaining to what you're experiencing right now. And even if you have to, unfortunately, represent yourself, you're going to go to court and you're going to be so much smarter and even more prepared to go into this thing and handle your business, because I'm going to set you up for success. Because the law is the law. The law isn't better. It's not a better law because it's being presented by a lawyer. The law is the law.
Correct.
That's what
You
it is.
can't pick up it comes with a manual. That is the law of how to work your Range Rover. And that law is available for everyone who purchases this Range Rover. Case law, whether you're aware of it or not, is available for everyone on behalf of their legal rights while being in a criminal court case or a family law or a civil suit. Anything you're dealing with, there are laws that are in place that are not to be broken at your convenience. These laws are in place for a reason. So please, I'm not going to interrupt you again, my brother. I know you down here with the hat on. Go ahead and say, I keep, when you speak, man, I get motivated to speak. So I just wanted to get that out. I'm listening to what you're about to say.
Man, it's all love. You mean you got the floor. So look, there's exactly what you just said. That's the whole purpose of it, is just to educate our people. It's similar with my book. the definitions. Is chapter 1. No matter if you get to the end part, these are the definitions and these are the case laws that you need to know moving forward. So I love what you're doing, bro. Like I said, I know you got to go. Your phone about to die. I appreciate you for jumping on this live. I'm going to connect everyone here.
I'm charging now. I'm charging now. Keep going.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
he's okay.
I'm
Yeah.
charging too.
So look, and for everyone that's going through this process, yes, if you unfortunately have to represent yourself, just understanding that when you're going through this process, there's something called general appearance and special appearance. If you walk into one of their hearings and you walk in this process without saying you're making a special appearance, that means you're making a general appearance, and you're recognizing the court's authority and you're waiving your rights to jurisdiction and you're giving them authority over you. So you have to educate yourself to go inside of these venues to be able to be afforded due process, because they're not just going to give it to you, because they are incentivized. And I'm going to say it one last time. For the fiscal year of 2024, the United States Treasury has authorized for states $713 million to find every single person on this live guilty in your child support hearing. They are incentivized. So you already, like Tyrese was saying, you already coming in, it's a stacked deck. They are incentivized for the fiscal year of 2024, $713 million to find you guilty in your hearing. So there's no way you can get a fair trial in a state hearing under their own state codes. So we have to educate ourselves so we can use their policies and procedures against them to be able to be afforded due process under the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. And I'm going to end
Compliance.
it on that note.
Compliance is a big thing,
Yeah.
and they're not compliant. So when it comes to their own procedure and the things that they must do, and this is one of the reasons why having financial literacy is one of the most important thing that a person needs to have. I'll give you an example. So I specialize in credit and consumer law. Lionel specializes in child support, right? So how we met and how we got to working together, he had a piece of the puzzle I didn't have. I had a piece of the puzzle he didn't have, right? So he's gotten his case dismissed for intrinsic fraud 22 years after his child support, right?
Fact.
And with me now, I'm like, let me take this information. And first of all, we need to know a man and a woman in their house, at a hotel, wherever they are, doing the do is not a consumer credit transaction. I'm gonna let that be. It is not even if you pay for it, it is still not a consumer credit transaction. And what does that mean? Child support is fraud for being on people's credit report. It's not supposed to be on your credit report. There's a case law of Kevin D. Miller versus TransUnion. Child support is not supposed to be on your credit. TransUnion actually issued a letter stating that if you report to this agency, child support, liens, judgment, taxes, tickets, tow truck, anything that did not come from a consumer credit transaction where a line of credit was extended is not supposed to be on your credit. This is law. And we're not just talking stuff. This is stuff that we can prove. And on this live right now, I am positive there's what, like 400 to 500 people now. It's fluctuating. At least 300 of the men on here that if they have child support, I know for a fact child support is on their credit. Another fraud of the system. And if we don't recognize that these frauds are happening, we will always be at the mercy of the system, because the things that you don't know, the people that do know the things you don't know will always use the things you don't know against you. It is a fact.
Well, let me give you this to echo that. I've always said, on the grounds of a relationship. Hello. Yeah. Good to see you. On the grounds of, that's my baby right there. 17.
Let's go.
He's good, everyone. So, okay. All right. It's, what's crazy, sidebar. One of the things that people used to always say is, Man, who do you think you are? You act like you were born with a golden spoon in your mouth. We only have gold spoons in our house. They're not real gold,
Hey.
but they are gold.
Mm.
Money doesn't grow on trees. We got a money tree over
Mm.
there. So, yeah, you're going to say these things. These are all perceptions, but my daughters will be able to say, actually, I was born with a golden spoon. I've been eating on gold spoons my whole life.
Mm.
Doesn't rich. It just means that daddy went on Amazon and was able to order some gold spoons. That's all.
You say you can go on Amazon and order it yourself as well.
You can order it, but it's my friend. So with that being said, I want to say to you, I've always said this. Let's just go back to the basics of relationships. When it comes to gaslighters, narcissists, evil, vile, and disrespectful people who pray and pray, right? So they pray that they can go and land a millionaire and get in a relationship with a high net worth individual to then realize they prayed to get in a relationship with you. Now they're in a relationship and now you realize you're being preyed upon. You realize they're going to fake a whole marriage and have a whole child and do the full duration of a child, knowing that if you go to court, that they're banking on who you are, what your net worth is, because they know 18 years of a payment, because the system is broken and it's fucked up, and they're going to financially benefit from
Absolutely.
alimony, child support, you name it. It is a dirty, dirty game.
Never have to work again.
Multi-billion-dollar game. Listen, I give one of my kids $11,000 a month right now. My 17. I've been doing it for 8 years. I've never missed one payment in 8 years at $11,000 a month. Okay, $11,000. Even when my money was down to $5,000, no one knew. I was still giving $11,000 a month. And when I go and do a movie, my money goes way up. And then if I don't book another movie for a year, 2 years, my money goes all the way down.
But they say you have the potential to make this amount, so we're going to keep it up.
If you had a job, listen, for all of the fathers that have been to jail, in jail, had your passport, your ID taken, have this on your credit, the liens and all this shit that they're speaking to, I want y'all to understand that we are one and the same, because I've never had my passport and all this shit confiscated, but I'm going to tell y'all something. This is a dirty, dirty game. How am I supposed to get to work if I can't drive?
Come on.
How am I supposed to take advantage of a movie that might be filming overseas if you took my passport?
See, that's why I believe in multiple passports.
It's a dirty, dirty game. And it is all playing out for the world to see. And I'm telling y'all, if I go do a Fast and the Furious movie, my money goes way up. And after Fast and the Furious, I got money trickling in, bits and pieces of opportunities and money that's coming in. But nothing pays me as much as that. And so if you're going to take me to court and hold me to this one-time huge fee of money that I just got, the next year and a half, 2 years is not going to look like that. I cannot afford whatever that child support number is that you just sprung up on me, because you've arrived at calculating what, you know, in LA, they have a machine called a Disso Master. And the Disso Master says, how much time were you physically with your child compared to the mother? And what are your tax returns from your last 2 years? And then they put it in a Disso Master, and whatever number it spits out becomes your new child support number.
No fucking way.
Right. Yeah, no, this is fact. I'm in LA, so I know. He was 1,000% correct. But, and also what I like to educate people on is when you're in these child support hearings, when money, and this may sound crazy, when money is the subject in a child support hearing, you've already been found guilty in family court of abandoning your child. Because when do you talk about money in a lawsuit? Because child support is a lawsuit. We're talking settlement now. When money is the subject in the child support hearing, you're admitting that you've been found guilty in family court of abandoning your child pursuant to the 1935 Social Security Act. And that's why we have to make these objections, because there's under presumption, if they presume that if you hire an attorney or if you're in here representing yourself pro se, we presume that you understand this process. So therefore, if you don't object to the things that we presume that they agree and they are now, in fact, true and correct. It's not innocent until proven guilty. There's something called prima facie. Prima facie says that whatever is filed, the court's taking it as true and correct until you provide evidence to say that it's not. Because it's not a judicial process, it's an administrative hearing. So it's totally different.
We have to, we as a group, as a community, Lionel, after the credit summit, like for those of you who don't know, the credit summit is in Atlanta. It goes down next weekend, 11 through 13, where we'll be talking about the same issue. I think we need to put on a conference strictly for child support, a child support conference.
Most definitely.
Where people like me, you, Tyrese, Don, One Credit Guy, where we can really come together. We'll a whole weekend dedicated to tearing apart case laws, tearing apart due process, tearing apart what it means to a general appearance versus a special appearance. You know, what does it mean to know what your county, state, and the federal laws say about child support? Like, I think it is a needed part of the system that the education is not there for it. The same way we're educating now on credit and using consumer laws, suing TransUnion, suing Equifax, suing Experian, and going after these debt collectors for laws that they have violated to reporting inaccurate information on your credit report. I think we should take the same approach to child support and have conferences dedicated to this.
Most definitely. And it's been declared, and now it is from this moment forward.
Yeah, I think we should. And I think we should need to do it on Father's Day. Yeah,
that would be great.
Father's Day.
That would be great.
And I hope that's the day Tyrese plans to publish his book.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about when I was going to release it, but I like it.
He said, I like it. It's all marketing.
Father's Day will never matter as much as Mother's Day.
That's why we gotta see. We can't let people tell us when our important. It's up to us to grasp that shit.
Yeah,
and we're gonna put on a mega conference.
Over here is Father's Year. It ain't Father's Day.